Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting episode with me, your host, Imperial Dane. We'll be looking here at a 1 vs 1 on Holotny. Fairman. It's going to be a bit more of an educational one, but still hopefully chat some good action. We'll be watching in one part of the map experts Vonivan, who's gone Soviet industry. Yes, it's going to be that kind of education. Fighting for the Soviet Union and the 25th Tank Corps conscripts, and of course noting here, soon as he actually pops Soviet industry, his manpower income actually takes a bit of a dive. In fact, he's gone from being almost getting 300 per minute down to only 200 per minute. That's quite a difference, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, he's going to get a lot more fuel, but again, manpower will be hurting. Of course, he'll be spending a lot of the initial manpower on troops sort of push outwards. Opposing him shall be Sturmtiger Giap, fighting for the Germans for the 5th SS Ausklärungsabteilung. Popping out here, the 2 Pioneer squads going to initially grab as much territory as you can. We do see an infantry company up. Missing here, this being followed up with an MT-42, a bit more on a bold start, considering things, but again, I'll be less worried about it since it's Giap and he is a more veteran player, and that's actually more suited to sending in something like this. But again, this is more of a move I definitely not see in the hands of a novice. Wiring off here, so his cut-off point here can be so easily secured. Fuel point being secured, more conscripts arriving. Points being secured. Now I'm looking for the fuel up there. But again, getting plenty of fuel initially. After that little thing there. Rushing for the munitions. MG-42 following up to support. Good job there. One's arming secured. MG-42 rushing ahead. And there we go. Country going to come under fire. But if the MG-42 we do manage to get a bit behind things, only one of them goes down, the rest gets suppressed. Yuri! They got Yuri! Well, fuck that, I don't even think it was a proper communist. Oh. Anyways, more conscripts popping in, 3 squads of conscripts. And that could very well be all that Vonivan gets. That's all now, he's down to simply getting only 200 manpower per minute. And that's definitely in terms of manpower, but compared to the German players, actually going to be putting behind in manpower throughout the fight. That, of course, is going to hurt his infantry a bit, in regards, you know, basically keeping more troops out there, but also reinforcing, because again, he'll have to, you know, again, we are knowing where Vonivan is actually going to point eventually, and again, that's towards tanks. But until then, of course, and once he gets it, of course, there'll be even less focus on the infantry, of course, whatever manpower is left, of course, will be going towards it. And we're noting here 2 MG-42s, definitely rare, but again, also noting here the focus on the munitions point. I mean, he's not just going to the fuel, he is going to the munitions point, and he's damn well going to keep it. And there's might be a plan behind this, you know. We've seen Grenadiers arriving here for Giap. Pioneers moving up north, they'll be counting combat engineers, but taking away points, pushing onwards aggressively for the fatherland. Conscripts here. A bold move here by the Ausklärungsabteilung, that is the reconnaissance unit or battalion. Ooh, routing here for the conscripts. Combat engineers versus the pioneers. Trying to get here with the MG-42, trying to catch the conscript there. A bit of dodging and weaving about. And there we go, conscripts, but they managed to get behind things there. Nicely done there by Vonivan. Bit aggressive infantry play. Even gets one of the MG gunners. Ivan, you bastard. Then they just managed to push back the combat engineers over there. More grenadiers arriving, and of course we note here that there's certainly a larger infantry force out in the field. But also noting here that Vonivan is floating a bit, but at the same time, I mean, in terms of manpower, he's still going to be left behind in front of Giap. We're seeing here that he's going straight for Vonivan's fuel point. Troops will be the reinforcement here, but likely we'll be seeing some structuring going on. And again, note, I mean, now the Special Drive Command, which is going to be building, although of course set up, but there's even more manpower, even more fuel, but still, I mean, that's pretty much what he's earning in a minute all of a sudden. Still, of course, I mean, still be a lot, even he had the manpower, but again, it's certainly hurting a bit more. Of course, immediately seeing him building up the next building, but again, that's also a lot of manpower. And again, he's going to be getting it slower and slower. But again, armored rush is going on. Like we'll be seeing a tank soon. And there we go, the T-70 is being rushed out. Comrades. Hoorah and all that. Comrade tankists.
Our territory is falling into enemy hands.
MG-42s, and they're definitely going to be vulnerable to it. Continue aggressive play here from Giap. mines going up here, telemines, and then again, that is probably one of the reasons why he went aggressive at that mini point. He's to ensure he had munitions within the 32 minutes to actually, deal with this. And again, note he's mining down one of the vital roads, choosing a good spot here. There's going to be a lot less territory or room for the T-70 to actually maneuver up around the mining. So that's definitely well played there. And note that he's actually not fully retreating. I think he's actually trying to bait in the T-70 in case it spots and sort of lure it into the telemine. Nice idea there. And it is the will soon need to retreat. The T-70 is aggressively pushing onwards. And of course, without the fuel point factor knocking off again, things will be a bit slow in that department as well. These are getting shot a bit. Not a happy day for them. MG42 taking up position in the house. Vonivan once more pushing forwards for the motherland.
Engineer standing by.
T-70 not doing so much. Vonivan perhaps feeling a bit hesitant at the moment, not sure what to expect.
Yes, comrade.
Rushing ahead with his T-70 light tank. And noting here, perhaps Vonivan has actually spotted a hit what might be going on, so he's actually taking a bit of a detour again. Vonivan being a veteran player, a bit aware of the tricks. And of course that's not a bad idea. And of course in the longer run, of course, you would want more telemines up. Alright, here we are seeing the conscripts being pushed away, and you're in a bit of trouble, though the building will provide some ample protection here from the T-70 and its dangers.
This now belongs to the people.
You only have 3 grenades. In fact, it's a very heavy tier 1 though, considering he's knowing what he's up against. And that camp is not what I recommend against. So the industry there is a heavy tier 1 like this, 2 MG, 3 Canadians, 2 Pioneers. That is quite a lot.
The enemy is taking what we have secured.
Another T-70 running back there, and again avoiding the roads. Vonivan again showing his veterancy in that terms of regard when it comes to armor, staying off the bloody roads. And there we go. Panzerfaust off. Points cut off there. Well done. MG42 finding way. Sadly, no turn the armor piercing rounds, otherwise he might be able to make short work. Moving up here. And there we go. We're noting here he's gone mechanized assault. Mechanized assault, but there we go. He's actually trying to escape. He forgets about the roads and hits the mine. And something tells me we'll be seeing something in these panzers soon enough, because half tank is taking quite a bit of damage though from the light tank. And there we go. Raketen Panzer books up, and T-70 is kaput. A small victory right there for Giap. Clearly buying time for that and going up. Certainly the second research point there definitely helped with that. Half track though is quite damaged already. A bit unfortunate. Another T-70 has arrived, and there we go. Another rocket connects. But he will need to get out of there. Not looking good for the Schützenpanzerwagen, or like the Schützenpanzerwagen more specifically.
Well done, comrade.
Pulling back this half-track meant for reconnaissance units. T-70 moving up. Ooh, there we go, abandoning it. Will he be able to get the half-track back? No! Half-track lost. But the T-70 is nonetheless pushing out. And there we go, a Panzerfaust successfully connected. Good use though of the Panzer Grenadiers with a Panzer Schreck. Again, I was initially quite surprised when I saw what Giap was doing here when I was watching the replay, and I had rather thought to myself, somehow I have to cast this, even I have to cast an episode extra.
T-70 reporting.
But T-70s are pulling back here. Vonivan has taken a bit of a beating. Noting here, Giap is actually making for the house. Also, a little fun fact, while there's the line with the Panzer screaming, it's a bad idea to shoot Panzer from inside a building. That's not quite true. You could do it, but usually it involved opening all of the windows, throwing out all the furniture, and knocking down as many interior walls as you could to protect yourself against the backdraft. So, little fun fact regarding Panzer, but it also applied to Panzerfaust. Also applied to Panzerfaust. And find who inside buildings to this.
These peasants have the call to attack.
Alright, they was able to get another T-70. Well done there. But there we go. Nice counter-attack from Vonivan. Flamethrowers, the Flammenwerfer. which, by the way, was partly sort of attempted to be camouflaged to actually appear not like a flamethrower. In fact, the previous version of it even had the flamethrower tank looking like a regular backpack. The only one in the Bitwalk 3, as it is known, was actually the gun itself, which was sort of made to look like a rifle, basically so the Germans wouldn't quite so easily target it out as a flamethrower. Little fun fact there as well. Another Panther after T-70, allowing them to escape, but taking heavy casualties nonetheless. More T-70s arriving, Vonivan really getting a lot up of them out. He's also getting a bit more manpower back, but still, I mean, in some regards, they're doing well, but in other parts, struggling. And certainly the harassment going against a few points is also helping Giap stay in the game, since again he's delaying Vonivan from getting in heavy armor. And again, we are seeing the mechanized assault doctrine. Oops. Not sure what happened there, can happen. Instead of the hard drive now being limited after going to Bandicam, it can sometimes be the RAM, which overall gives less problems. They might still get an occasional hiccup. But there we go, support armor core going up for Giap.
We have our reinforcements. Yeah.
I know, roll note. Giap has a much larger force, but even now he's not quite down to the same amount of manpower that Vonivan is. Again, in that sense, ultimately, when you do go for Soda Industry, manpower will be, you know, the thing that's going to be limiting you. Which actually necessitates even better unit preservation, because the loss is actually going to hurt you even more. Yes, you can get out more tanks, you can get them up faster, but again, at the same time, in some cases, you can actually not quite as much afford them. Although again, I mean, in some regards, they do cost less than infantry, so there's also that, but still, you have to be careful. Sturmgeschütz now on the way for Giap. Constables here getting shredded. Up here as well, Hamlin covering the roads. Nothing good there for Vonivan. Retreat, comrades! Retreat! Panzergrenadier moving up with their Raketen, Panzerwechsel forcing away the conscripts. T-70 will be needed some repairs rather swiftly. Of course, one way that Vonivan could try to make things up a bit would be, you know, through repair stations, but also mines. That way, home to catch some of the fascists that way. And then we go, T-34 arrives here for Vonivan. Sturmgeschütz arrives for Giap. Stug 3, Ausführung G. The last model of the Stug 3, although it still saw several variations throughout the war. Panzer Grenadiers moving up once more, trying to throw back the T-70 Grenadiers, basically acting as a bait or target. Stug moving down to support, though flank is a bit vulnerable. If that thing gets hit here with the full armoured might of Vonivan, things will get very ugly. But so far, Vonivan seems more intent on clearing out the northern parts of the map and any fascists hiding within there. Stug charging ahead. Dangerous. Since again, you know, it's not a tank, and if he's not careful, he could get flanked. Also, Stug 3E now available. Well, I don't think Giap will be going for that, since, you know, the main problem here is going to be tanks, not so much infantry. And I think he's going to be saving up for more Stugs or Panzer IVs. And they go, Pioneers wiped out. Permanently so. Pencil mounted machine gun up.
How can we help?
And this T-70 is fit for fight again.
We are losing a sector.
Sneaking up here.
Liberated the objective.
And infantry moving ahead here, coming under fire from the Sturmgeschütz.
Cut off.
Main gun firing, but so far hitting everything but the conscripts, which is less grand. Panzer's trying to win, but coming under intense firing again. I mean, note, as soon as the Panzer goes out in the open, they also become a lot easier targets for the tanks, and that's actually something you have to be careful about right here. In fact, you could risk that Giap actually loses all of his Panzer gunners to the T-70 to adjust this game better. And there we go. Heavy losses. They're not doing too well all of a sudden. Again, out in the open is a terrible place to be for the Panzers with Panzers. They cannot last long due to the low numbers. Send the armor piece, although he would be good against the troops out the house. He might lose the Panzer gun that is there, but no. Sniper on the way all of a sudden. Nope. Cancelled. Sturmgeschütz instead. Lovely. Immer mehr Sturmgeschütz. So I think you should be using incendiary armor because we have to basically force the conscript out of the house.
Our territory.
Something useful today.
Mines going up there. Giap constantly laying down more mines to basically limit the maneuverability of Vonivan's tanks. Good job. Vonivan now trying to build up a more steady armoured force. Basically going to try if we can't overwhelm Giap through sheer Soviet numbers.
We're under attack.
And we go T-34 flanking in. Needs to be careful though, Vonivan. And Giap. T-34 is going to get pushed. Oh, he moves too close. Move too close. He's trying to flank the stew. A noble endeavour, but he got too close to the Grenadiers and got Panzerfaust instead. In that case, nice combination of Grenadier Stug overcame the T-34 and prevented his Stug from getting flanked. Good job there. Another T-34 trying to flank in. Vonivan's timing here is a bit off, I have to say. Instead, his other T-34 ran into the Panzerfaust and the other Stug. Charging into the unknown can be dangerous in this case. He encountered much more than he actually anticipated from Giap. So you have to be careful about just charging your tanks and flanking like that. Reconnaissance tanks, of course, Brand, use the recon mode to quickly scout out the path ahead of you, but, T-34s perhaps not so much. So a bit unfortunate there, and 3 T-70s up for Vonivan. Panzer's going to move across here. Stug's moving in to punish the conscripts. Or not.
What the fuck does all raw mean?
The enemy is gaining a foothold. We are down to...
There we go. Both Stug's opening up on the conscripts. And the T-70s just tearing into the Panzergrenadiers up north. But again, Panzerfaust going to go off, catching his T-70 a bit of trouble. Teller might hit there, oh dear. Veterans hit too, but Stugs will soon be moving in. Self-repairs will be needed quickly, if he has the resource for it, of course. If not, well, it's going to be a target gallery here for the Stugs.
Our opponents are seizing the sector.
And go self-repairs up. Go, 1 T-70 down. Other one is getting repaired, but will it be enough? Will it be in time? Doing a good job then, taking territory back in the south. Very close to being able to get out there, but the other T-70 might go down. Veterans one for the Stormgeschütz, and there we go, T-70 repaired, needs to get out of there as quickly as possible. Continued aggression from Vonivan well played. In many regards, things are beginning to look a bit sour as Giap continues to trundle across.
Stay low! They've spotted us!
The new unit has arrived.
We are ready!
And we're seeing a second mechanized assault group. Lovely. Another 250. Another leichte Schützenpanzerwagen filled with Panzergrenadier. All looking very casual as they're driving towards the enemy. Going to be dealing with these bastards. In this case, driving up and then proceeding to tear into the combat engineers with glee and reckless abandon. There we go, and Tort.
Taking our territory.
For now, there is holding on nicely to the map, but again, the manpower disadvantage is beginning to hurt more and more. In particular, since Giap is rather good at punishing every mistake that Vonivan makes. Yeah, there we go. Tellermine knocks out the engine of the T-34, heavy engine damage. That's not going to be moving a lot more anymore. We're going to see the response is immediate. T-70 doing what it can with increased accuracy and rate of fire, by the way. Stooks are moving in.
Hands are firing on us!
And again, no quick and heavy losses to the Panzers. Vonivan moves in. None of them actually hits. But again, now they're in cover. All of a sudden, it becomes a lot harder for the T-70 to do anything. Another veteran to one. Stu and time for mid-game analysis. Noting here, upgrade as well on this mechanized assault group. Another pair of Panzer Schrecks, though even without, I mean, they can still do quite a lot of damage to infantry and be quite nasty. But either way, though, that is Giap's decision. Again, I actually love the use of the mechanized assault group, to be honest, and again, a bit clever. Either way, the situation for Vonivan, not so good. He's been having trouble keeping his tanks alive, which again is very much hurting me. It's partly, due to Telemines and others. Vonivan's being doing his best to keep tanks alive, but again, the Telemines keep proving a problem. And Vonivan sadly has not been laying down mines, which could make things more difficult for Giap's vehicles, Giap's armor, Giap's infantry. And of course, no minesweepers either, which has so far cost him several tanks, 2 T-17s, and well, been hit by it anyways, and now a T-34 is the victim. And of course, if that mechanized assault group gets close enough, I mean, it's going to wipe it out. So things are a bit dangerous at the moment. Infantry is also at a rather unpleasant low at the moment for Ivan. Again, he needs to get something back in the fight somehow. Several T-34s might prove the trick, and if you can then maneuver them correctly and actually knock out the Stooks, that could prove the key. But again, it's going to be very much down on some serious, well-executed tank maneuvers where he outflanks and outmaneuvers the Sturmgeschütz one by one, knocks them out without taking any casualties, or at least minimal casualties, and then of course afterwards sorting out all the infantry. If he can pull that off, victory might be his. If not, well, Deutschland, Deutschland über alles. Of course, it's something to keep in mind. For Giap, of course, it's about pushing on. It's about keeping up with momentum at the moment. He's got the advantage. If he allows Vonivan to gather up time and breath, he's going to get crushed under serried armor. And again, that's also going to be a target here for Vonivan. It's going to be about slowing down Giap. And again, mines do tend to serve that quite nicely. But again, they haven't really quite appeared, which again is leaving the initiative and the advantage in the hands of Giap. So again, for him, it's all about the momentum, it's all about the initiative, it's all about keeping it going at the moment. Another Sturmgeschütz could be an idea, or he could just try and save up for a Tiger and basically just bash his way the last way in. That could also work out quite nicely. But let us return to the fight here. Counter squad holding up here, coming in under fire. T-70 receiving repairs, T-34. Interesting enough, Giap is not pushing in. Seems he's a bit worried about something. Or perhaps a bit more concerned with the Sturmgeschütz up north. T-70 gefechtsbereit again, or combat ready, and an additional T-34 for now. Of course, they are missing a beat to get out more tanks. But nonetheless, things are dangerous. Very.
Yes?
Of course, the southern part of the map would now be quite vulnerable, and there we go, Pioneers moving ahead. Nasty losses. The T-34 unleashes high explosive shells. And there we go, Panzerfaust to the rear, just as it's finished. Oh no. Stooks are quickly moving ahead. And there we go, mechanized assault from Old Wing, but Cumber and intense fire. Veterans one for the Panthers, he might lose the half tank and some of the troops inside it. They get out in time, but still close. Stooks unleashing death. T-70 rushes straight in front. He's going to ram straight into the Stu. I think it might be a bit too late for that. Panzer Grenadier down to one-man force retreat. Target weak point acting knocked out. The T-70 already stunned it, allowing the Panzer to escape. Good lord. Right there, things are not looking good. And there we go. Veterans E2 for the Sturmgeschütz, adding armored skirts and increased rate of fire, amongst other things on top of it. Out of the Stuke, though, going to be in need of repairs. Of course, more Pioneers on the way, and a Panzer IV being sent in to support things.
Our forces increase.
None looking too good there.
We have taken it.
Einsatzbereit. Ready for orders and
You need something built?
Vonivan is definitely looking a bit in a bind at the moment.
We have a new Panzer IV.
Overall, of course, now Giap has the overwhelming advantage.
Grenadiers.
Vonivan has, well, that. So again, there's a bit of a difference here, to put it mildly. Largely went with this replay because we don't really know any other good or exciting, so I went for the more educational. And again, you know, keep sending in replays, please, is all I can say. And again, make sure to actually check them through and see if you know your opponent actually uses doctrines, so you know it's not just you beating another guy into a pulp, because a bunch of them I've received are a bit like that. Bit unfortunate, but still. Again, certainly has really been one point of apparent struggle here for many German players who don't seem to know how to handle it. So again, you know, I go for this to sort of, you know, perhaps give them some ideas, you know, how to handle it. Again, telemines, and otherwise you're actually preparing for it, noting what your opponent actually does, and again, noting his weakness, which again is manpower. It is a definite issue here. For any player that goes to the industry, he will be hurting in manpower, and if you can deliver sufficient damage to him, it's going to be very hard for him to get back.
This is our territory now! Comrade!
Area secure.
A squad of infantry has been killed.
So little
Death before
important bit
retreat.
there. More infantry on the way. Vonivan struggling at the moment,
We serve!
doing what he can to actually damage
Forces
Giap.
are attempting to capture our territory.
Big rug grenade there, 2 men down, first forced retreat. There we go, nice little armoured force, ready to take on Vonivan. Going to speed this up a bit. Going to be also a bit of a shorter replay, again my apologies.
The enemy is encroaching on our territory.
Well, I have to work with what I have, not what I wish I had, which is all what some people seem to forget. T-34 is arriving. More telemines going down. Yep, still not taking any chances with Vonivan, who is quickly pushing out again in a renewed offensive, but again, just note all the telemines down. I mean, Giap's really been taking advantage of this, and again, that's good. Always lay down mines if you can, even if you think you're winning, mine the crap out of a map. Don't take any chances. So that's always good. Always good. And again, note, Vonivan had so many munitions, and that, I think, you know, is one of, again, the major mistakes he committed here. Again, you know, he didn't mine at all. And again, that could have, you know, in the training, it hurt Giap's chance of actually going about and doing things.
Armor is engaging us!
Ooh, telemine, that was actually cooked off accidentally by a shot from a Stuttgart of Panzer IV.
Conscripts here!
Conscripts are going to be a problem.
Fresh conscripts have arrived.
Troops here getting blasted into the dirt.
Armor has spotted us! We have the point secured, but the enemy wants it back!
Lots of death, lots of destruction. And lots of Stug. T-34 pulling back here. Probably not a bad idea. Building a Moses actually up.
The enemy has taken our supply sector. Contact!
Da, comrade.
Panzer Force and Stugs are advancing für das Vaterland. Ach, schnell! Troops are always hanging about here, conscripts hunting down the grenadiers.
Standing by!
Things, of course, not going all smooth for Giap. How much he might like it.
T-34, crude.
Vonivan likely going for another T-34.
Okay, that's the last one.
Panzers waiting up, then ambush, knowing the position again, they can sort of quickly rush out and appear, but won't, for example, be immediately visible to an attacking enemy. So that's a nice move there for Giap. Clearing out the centre and the MB42 in the church. For now, we're definitely being cautious, but still, he has hope he can secure a victory for the motherland. In return, we see here that Giap has victory. Faith he can destroy them with a light artillery barrage. Selecting Infanterie shots firing away. And there we go. Nasty barrage right there. Stooks take out quite the toll on the conscripts, forcing them away. Pioneers moving up.
We have more conscripts at our disposal. Our territory is falling into enemy hands.
Stuke and Panzer for advancing. Looks like for now he's being able to get another T-34, but this one is to pull back. Giap's armoured column is moving up. Popping back to him. He could very soon. Oh, he can't actually. He's got most of his pop cap up, and again, note he's flooding resources again. It's not at this point any doubt where things are going. I mean, we know who's going to win. But again, you know, figure might as well show the ending.
We are losing a sector.
My pardons for that. Of course, you don't have to watch through the end, but of course, you know, there's a little bit of made. There we go. Well, of course, you can just move a bit ahead, you know, until the, you know, thing is done, and, you know, I'll actually be explaining some of the major points of this again, you know, actually be going through again what are some of the major points of fighting versus Soviet industry are, and, you know, what you can, for example, do while you're playing as the Soviet industry to sort of negate that. Again, this is very much, you know, minded on Soviet industry, which again has proven apparently to be a great headache for a lot of German players. And again, in that sense, you know, try to educate, try to help. If I find, for example, a good match that also, for example, you know, shows stealing with a Tiger Ace, I'll also be bringing up that one. So keep that in mind.
What?
There we go, 2 veteran D2 Stooks. 2 T-34s up.
Target destroyed.
Moving up here. Ooh, he's going to expose the flanks. If an eye wants to move in there and then move like that, he might be able to get them. Special Run Command in trouble. Looks. What is he doing? Special Run Command is down. He's up. There we go. Tanks on the move, but again, Panzer's also opening up. Veterans C3. Lots of rockets. And T-34s are not a lot of trouble. Infantry getting murdered. Still trying for victory points. Quick light artillery barrage, I think. And there we go. Game over. And a victory for Germany. I mean, in that sense, you know, again, not surprising. I mean, in that sense, again, you know, it might not have been the most exciting, but again, I was lacking in exciting, so again, I went for something that might actually teach players a bit more interesting things. And again, chose to focus on one of those that, again, have caused people some problems, which is adapting to Soviet industry, because, again, it rather, in some ways, changes how the Soviets plays in a more fundamental manner. But again, as pointed out, it does present some significant flaws. Again, you know, the fact that a Soviet player who does good will largely always be behind in manpower. In fact, as soon as he gets tanks, he's really going to get behind in manpower. So that is very much something to keep in mind. The current problem is basically how quickly they can get to the tanks, which again can catch a German player who's absolutely not used to dealing with this quite unprepared. And again, you know, if you see it, if you have a suspicion of it, get some telemines off first. I mean, that really ought to be a priority. And then you can work your way to either some packs or some Panzergrenadiers with punch rates. They can also be initially useful. Again, pop them in a building if you don't get a mechanized assault group, and they'll fire off a few punch rates that way on the tanks. And you might find, you know, buy yourself some time to get some armor out and then sort of throw it back. But again, you know, focus on the infantry, you know, focus, you know, on playing cautiously. just sort of try to wear down, but also try to get some kills again. It's very much the things that really hits this doctrine again, the manpower difference. So if you can ensure you don't get utterly overwhelmed by the tanks, you generally will win. It's going to be very much, if you play the soldiers, you're going to be about overwhelming your opponent and delivering damage much greater than you're actually taking. If you can't pull that off, you are going to lose, because again, your manpower difference will simply be too great in the long run. And again, that's really again what it's all about. It's the manpower difference. Yes, you get more fuel, but again, the manpower difference will really hurt you as well. And that's rather what we saw here for Vonivan. Again, he could get off a lot of tanks initially, but again, as things then protracted, as he began losing tanks, he rather boxed down. He began losing effect, he began losing strength, he lost steam, he couldn't really do as much as he would like to. And again, he could have done more with mines. Again, mines would have made it a lot harder for Giap to advance. And yeah, that should have been one of the things he should have been doing with this combination. Laid down a lot of mines to sort of slow down the German advances, to buy himself more time to get out more tanks. Again, it's going to be about more time to himself build up another overwhelming armoured assault. And again, that's rather where Vonivan, for some reason, fell flat in this replay. But again, I hope, for those German players who've been struggling with Soviet industry, this gives you some ideas on how to handle it. It gives you an idea that, again, it can be defeated. If it bleeds manpower, you can kill it, basically. So, of course, is something to keep in mind. This is Imperial Dane saying cheers. I hope you enjoyed this match. I hope you learned something. I hope it inspired you to play better. If it did, why not subscribe, tell your friends. If it didn't, well, why not simply provide some feedback in the comments. What would you like to see? Or something like this. This is Imperial Dane saying cheers.